All right, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of mine heart be acceptable in Yahweh's sight. He is our strength and our redeemer, and it is in his name, which is his authority, that we pray, praise, proclaim, project, and protect tonight's message. Aman. Um, trying to see if we can even set this up where you guys can see me. Don't know if that's going to be possible. We're in the dark out here camping, so if you can see me, this is about the best I'm gonna be able to give you tonight. I do apologize. Trying to see if I can. That's about the brightest I'm gonna be able to give you. But that's what I got for you guys tonight. So hopefully you're doing well. Come on in. We appreciate you. Today's been a little bit of a busy day, just due to the fact that just been trying to do a lot of stuff. Had to do a lot of picking up people and stuff like that on my own today. And we had some people leaving and trying to get ready for people coming in. Have some tents and everything. We got to get ready to put up and to save and all this stuff. So we thank you guys. We appreciate you. Making sure everybody was eating today. That's my responsibility. So praise Yah. That went well. Excuse me. And still dealing with my voice a little bit. Trying to get things back in order. Go get some more tea in a little bit. But hopefully all is well. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Apologize for, once again, the vision. It's about the best that I'm be able to do for tonight. Let me see something real quick. If I move it over, let me see how much better. Oh, it's way better if I do that. All right. Well, then I will leave this moved over the way it is. I will not be able to see myself, which I don't need to see, but I'll try to see where I can at least see you guys' comments so we can leave it the way it is. Praise Yah. So hopefully you guys are doing well once again. Can you guys still see me on YouTube, all right? Because I can't see me, but you guys should be able to see me as long as the camera can see me. Appreciate y'all for coming on. Yep. Okay, cool. How you doing, Brother Charles? Stay safe out there. Those who are on doing virtual Feast of Tabernacles, we will have a brief, maybe 30-minute discussion at 8:30 p.m. Eastern New York time. As a reminder, those who have all classes this week will have to be on via recording. Matter of fact, possibly for the next 2 weeks, but at least this week, because I'm going to be trying to take some days off starting this Friday after the last live session for me for a little while on Friday. I will be, it is my born day then, and I'm going to try and take a break at least till the following Thursday, at least. So we're going to see if we can make that work. But thank you guys for being on. Appreciate you. How's everybody doing? How you doing, Sister Nadine? How you doing, MIT Steven? How you doing, Sister Joy? Be the Artist, Sister Carla, Brother Charles, everybody. I'm glad you made it back. Looks like you made it back safe, Sister Joy. Glad that you made it back. How you doing, Joseph? Praise Yah. Okay, Brother Joseph, I got you. I got you for sure. How you doing, MIT Jelani? How you doing, Vanita? How you doing, Sister Knight? I think I said already. So we appreciate you all. Thanks for being on. And we appreciate you guys. Tonight, wanted to just come from something actually George Carlin said, and wanted to kind of share it with you all tonight. And the theme is basically, you have no choice. You have no choice. Now, I'm not trying to say we cannot have a choice at all. What I'm trying to describe to you is the way the world is set up. How you doing, Brother Yosef? Still praying for you. The way the world is set up is the world is set up for us to not have a choice, to be without choice. How you doing, Sister Sherry? The way the world is set up is for us to be without choice, to have the illusion of choice. It's not that they don't even try to give you an illusion of choice. It's that though at the end of the day you have no choice. When I say they, right, that could be a broad term. Tonight I want to speak specifically on how you doing, Tahiti? Tonight I want to speak specifically on those who govern. Right? If we're not careful, we'll believe that those who govern are making decisions based off of what the people want, what the people need, because they work for the people. Right? We've all heard that before. The government works for the people. Vote in the president, listen to what the president says, because he's somebody who works for the people, right? Listen to what your mayor says, your governor says. Why? Because they work for the people. Listen to what your school board says, because they work for the people, right? Listen to what your pastors say, your imam says, your yogi says, whomever, because they work for the people. But what if there's a possibility, dare I say the reality, that just because somebody supposedly works for the people, it does not mean they actually work for the people, right? What if there's a possibility that just because somebody is supposed to give their all to you, it doesn't mean that they give their all? Matter of fact, what if you were taught that somebody was hired? And thank you, Jay, for being on. How you doing, Sister Amanda? What if you were hired, right? What if you were hired by the government and you weren't paid by the people? Well, the government works for the people. No, 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 no. The government's supposed to protect the people. No, 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 no. Matter of fact, it's on the books. All you got to do is do some research. I was talking with this about somebody who's part of SOC, who's getting ready to take care of some business, and they were asking some questions, and we were looking at some sovereign stuff that was, kind of new to me as far as what does it mean, and then trying to figure it out state by state. But I was explaining to them that police officers don't have to help you. How you doing, Sister Deborah? We're praying that you guys make it safe. Praise God. Um, there's a lot of people are under this false reality that if I go to a police officer, the police officer is going to drop what they're doing and they're going to come and help me. They're going to service me. They're going to make sure that I'm safe. But the police officer by law does not have to help you. How you doing, Sister Latoya? And it is a sad truth, right? A police officer gets to decide if what you're telling them is worthy of them helping, or if they feel like it's safe enough to help. And they don't have to report it in, say, hey, I would take care of this. Can somebody else take care of this for me? No. They just have to decide, make a decision in their head, in their mind. Am I going to help? And if they decide the answer is no, then guess what? They don't have to help you at all. Right? There's nothing, right? So you think that they're living by morality, but there's nothing moral. Morality is not their main drive. Morality is the illusion, right? You believe, and there's people that even come, right, to council meetings. A guy, BJ, I forget what his last name is, famous martial artist or famous mixed martial artist who won the championship, at least one, BJ Penn or something like that. He has this famous thing out now since they've been doing what they did to Hawaii, and he came in front of the town hall meeting and stuff, and he started pointing his finger, and he kept saying over and over again, how dare you talk to us? Would anybody talk to their boss like this? How you doing, Sister Barbara? How you doing, Big Brother Thomas? He said, would anybody talk to their boss like this? Would anybody talk to somebody like that? Would anybody say, you don't talk to your boss like that? I'm your boss. Brother BJ, you were sadly mistaken, because the city council doesn't work for you. How you doing, Fun for Fans? They're not supposed to work for you. You're under the illusion that you are in control of them, when the reality is that you have the votes, you have this, you have that, but who's in charge of the people who are running? Who's in charge of the campaign? Let's do something that simple, right? We're not going to be on that long tonight. We got to make time for those that are going to come on virtually, who are part of the virtual meetup and everything. So let's just cut to the chase. Um, who is in control of when somebody runs? They run for whatever political office. They run for sheriff. They run for judge. They run for mayor. Who is in control? See, we're taught a lot of stuff that's not true. Who's in control? Right? Yeah, we're still watching those movies and stuff. How you doing, Minister Shantae? Praying that you're going to make it safe, right? Who's in control? If somebody's running for president, it is who? Who pays for somebody to run for president? The government, kind of, sort of. The government's supposed to know what's happening with the money, even though we find out every day. Of course they don't. It's like the government's supposed to make sure that your child is taken care of and fed, right? Well, we say us too, depending. If you're giving your money, supposedly your taxes go, but who controls your taxes? People with money, right? Right. So watch this. Follow the money. So now follow the money. Who follow the money now? Who has the money? Who's putting up the capital? Who are the lobbyists? Are they us? How you doing, Sister Patricia? Are they you, those who voting and saying that I'm supposed to vote and do this or that, right? Who's putting up the money? Money, right? There's a reason why. And I'm not trying to give any shade. This is just how it works. There's a reason why the African American diaspora, or the Black diaspora, the Israelite diaspora, or the uh, uh, Moorish diaspora, etc. It doesn't get stuff done because your capital is not being used the way that other people's capital is being used. Right? Businesses pay. They are the lobbyists. And they have written laws in the books that say that, see, we say stuff like they have the they have the senators in their pockets. They have the president in their pockets. That's true. But watch this. Even if the president doesn't want to go with the lobbyists, even if the senator doesn't want to listen to the lobbyists, even if the House of Representative member decides they're not going to listen, guess what's still going to happen? They're still going to have to listen to law, at least these statutes that they try to perform as law. And what do these statutes say? These statutes say things like, hey, you can't come together and create laws in Congress unless this many lobbyists are there on our behalf. So therefore, the lobbyists are paying to make sure that whoever they want to become president. And by the way, if you look at it closely, you'll actually start to discover a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times, lobbyists pay for both sides. So sometimes they're in straight control where they can do it, but just in case they can't do it, they put money in on both sides. So that whoever wins by law, you have to listen to them when coming up for your laws. In our mind, they work for the senator works for you because you think you voted them in. But even if they allow your vote to count, which a lot of times it doesn't, it still doesn't matter because once the senator gets into office, the senator is not in charge by law, right? The senator is not in law. If it doesn't make money for the lobbyist who gave, because the lobbyist expects a return on their investment. Stop thinking that people give money without expecting a return. If somebody blesses SOC, if somebody blesses this organization with something, guess what happens? They expect a return on their investment. We have to be honest about what the investment is up front, and people got to be honest. But investors, when they give something, if somebody invests time, if somebody invests patience, right, they expect a return. If somebody learns something from us, they expect to be able to utilize what they learn at some point in their lives. If somebody invests in hope that's given from us, at some point they expect hope to be able to give some kind of manifestation to pull them through something, right? Well, if a lobbyist is giving money, there's a faith seed. You don't want to think about it that way, but they give an offering and tithe and everything else, and they expect to return their investment. But here's the deal: they really tithing and stuff to themselves because they're already in control. So they expect that once they get somebody new in office, all you're going to do is bow right back down to them. How you doing, Sister Keisha? How you doing, Brother Dwayne? So we have the wrong mindset. How you doing, Yehuda? Brother Keva? We have the wrong mindset concerning money or ownership or leadership. We still believe that somebody's going to be voted in. You believe you voted them in. And so here it is, supposedly you voted them in. But what's happened for you? Where's your Stop Black Hate Bill? Where's your Stop Israelite Hate Bill? Where is your 40 acres of the mule? Where is your reparations? Where is your, hey, can we be men and women again and not have to be cis or non-binary or whatever, right? Or binary or cis or whatever, or straight. Like, can we just be us? Can we have community? Can we have land? You give land still for free to other people. Matter of fact, people who are coming from other places, you're giving them land to stay on. You're allowing them to have more money than some of the people who are being here, and you're making fun of because they can barely make ends meet off of the situation you put them in. And yet you keep talking about choice. You are under the illusion in this world that you have choice. Yah says you have free will, right? They say that you have no will. It's very interesting that in the West that keeps talking about how you should have the free will to do whatever is the place where everybody keeps losing the will to live because they keep unaliving themselves. Yeah, we already know who's going to be president before you vote. Yeah, right. But think about that. You said, what's my opinion on joining the Army U.S.? Well, I'm a former service member, not of the Army, but of the Navy, although I did a lot of joint ventures. So I've worked with, all four branches, worked with the Coast Guard. I mean, I guess you could say technically three because Marine Corps is Department of the Navy, but, all four branches. And I would say if you're going to work for them or whatever, maybe if it's a lot of times people work from out of necessity. um, if you're somebody who's been with them, I respect it, because anybody that's willing to give their life for something they believe in, I think is where that's oh, a worthy intent. I won't even know if it's a worthy cause is the right word, but worthy intent. But I would just make sure you recognize you're about to be a slave. Hey, how you doing, babe? My wife is on the Honorable Maya. Please check her out as always on TikTok, YouTube, her website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish. Not A&D, the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. She is a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist by degree. But I think if you comprehend, if you're going to go in and you're willing to be somebody who helps people to be in control, you're going to have to, especially if you're, I know we overuse the word woke, but I'll just use that for tonight. If we're going to be somebody who's awakened to certain ideas and ideology and thought process, it's going to be very difficult to make it through even 4 years or 2 years or 6 years or 20 years, whatever you're going to sign up for. But, you know, if that's what you decide to do, you have free will. Just know there's consequences. I can tell you, somebody who was part of it, it took a lot for me to be able to kind of get my peace back on certain things that I saw. Crazy I didn't have to do, but certain things that I saw, that you had to kind of look at and say, yeah, I even though I tried to change some things, you're kind of powerless to stop a system. If there's a big locomotive, in all I keep saying, I apologize. In our travels that we've been doing consistently throughout the U.S. lately, we've seen a lot of freight trains. And once a freight train starts, somebody could try to stop it, even if they saw somebody in the middle of the train tracks. But you can't just stop a freight train. Right. So it's kind of like that in the military. There's going to be some freight train movements. How you doing, movement news? There's going to be some freight train movements that are going to occur, and you're going to have to realize some of this stuff you're not going to be able to stop. How you doing, Sister Monica? So, excuse me. So in this life that we're living in the world, we have to be aware that we are not, we're not in control. First of all, I tell this to people all the time, because here's the trick that you'll learn, especially if you're a follower of the way, walking in the way that we try to walk in. Thanks for being part of the community movement news. Appreciate you. Here's something that you'll realize and recognize right away, or at least you'll start to realize. The longer you walk, the longer you live. Is I've learned that the longer I've lived, the more I've realized that I do not have control anyways. Now, this is not from me being chaotic. How you doing, Brother Anthony? This is not me talking about chaos or anything like that. This is me saying straight up, the longer I live, I didn't say I don't have accountability. I said the longer I live, I realize how little control, if ever I had any control, because I'm not in control. If you believe in Yah or a higher power, whatever the case might be, you got to realize you're not in control anyway. Well, no, but you can control your own actions. I don't try to control my own actions. Why? Because I'm under a certain law or principles or even universal laws that state that certain things must happen. Therefore, I'm governed by them. So as being governed by them, they control my actions. Right? So everybody who's alive, as much as you want to keep telling everybody, I don't need this, I don't need that, I don't need nobody, I don't need no man, I don't need no woman, I don't need no family. I put on my pants one leg at a time like everybody else. All the stuff you hear people say, you are not in control. Nor have you ever been. You have always been controlled. That's not true. Okay, question. How did you learn how to speak? Was that because you were in control? I just want to help somebody. We don't even have that much time left, right? We're gonna make this quick. How you doing, Sister Drea? Right? How did you learn how to talk? You had to learn how to talk because somebody else was in control. And so as they were in control, all you were able to do was what? To observe. We talked about this rising, right? On the rising session, you observed and then you started doing. You repeated, right? You observed, and therefore you started doing. And you didn't learn how to speak because you were in control. You didn't learn how to speak in a vacuum. Nobody lives in a vacuum. Even in the vacuum of space, there's objects that control certain things or show certain things or have to be controlled because they keep doing the same thing no matter what. They keep telling you that the sun is the reason why everything goes around it, but they can't explain to you why Mercury, which is a smaller planet, therefore should have less gravity, somehow, some way never goes into the sun, right? If you believe in the global cosmology? Well, they keep telling you that Mercury is supposed to not be able to go into the sun. However, the Earth, right, is bigger and it doesn't go closer to the sun either. But Jupiter is only comes around every once in a while, and somehow Earth doesn't get sucked closer to the sun, right? And neither does Mercury, and neither does Venus. How does this happen? How does this happen? How does it happen that it doesn't hit the sun? Something universal, some law, some principle has to be in order. Whether you like it or not, you can't explain it. You can try, right? How you doing, Jose? Thanks for being on, right? You can try, but you can't explain it, can you? You cannot explain it without what? Something being in control, because the sun doesn't even control itself. Then they try to say, well, the sun, it has this power and it sparked itself and it keeps itself there and it's nuclear, physics and all this stuff. You wouldn't be able to comprehend it. Sure, but I got a question for you. I comprehend that everything has a beginning, at least as far as seasons and times. So if the sun turned itself on, how did it turn itself on with the energy to sustain what it has become? Oh, by the way, you're saying that it's growing. So first it turned on and it was really, really small. According to you, it was born out of a nebula. Now, we've never seen that before, but that's their theory. It was born out of a nebula. How you doing, Sister Sage? And it was born out of this nebula, came out of this nebula. When it came out of this nebula, it was supposed to have been given the power, the authority somehow on its own to be able to power itself and to keep on growing. And then it grows, and instead of continuing in power, it's going to get to a point where it's going to swallow everything up, and then it's going to go back to having no power again. Question: how did it get the power in the first place? Universal principle, right? It's even the sun, right? Even in their theory, they have to acknowledge that they realize that the sun cannot be in control. If they won't, then all they can say is this: they'll say, we just don't know yet. So then you have to have faith that it's not in control. Either way, we're still getting to the same place. See, we are under the illusion that we are in control. You are in the illusion that you don't need to be controlled. That's why a lot of people don't like this word right here: submission. You are under the illusion that you are not supposed to be in control. You are under the illusion that you're not supposed to, or I'm sorry, you're supposed to be in control. Therefore, you're under the illusion that you're supposed to control yourself. Therefore, you're under the illusion that if I just simply watch this, how many people have heard this? The power of positive thinking. If I just think positively every day, then everything will change. But if I don't think positively according to universal principle, then the universe doesn't have to submit to me, or I don't have to submit to it. Nothing has to change at all because there's universal law. What does law do? Law doesn't give rights, it protects rights. If the sun wants to continue to exist and have that right, it must follow certain universal principles no matter what. That's how it operates, that's how it works. If you want to continue to exist, as much as you think that you are so great that you can go ahead and just walk on water, I promise you, if you're not led by the Holy Spirit and you're not controlled by something and something doesn't control nature, guess what's going to happen? You're going to sink every time. I don't care what your faith is, because it's not for you to walk. But if the Messiah is standing on the water and he says, come out to me, all of a sudden you can walk. See, because you're not in control. The one who created it is. Anybody, that's why you cannot patent anything, right? If something is patented by law, it means that you have to manipulate or you have to modify what is in its nature. You cannot patent something that the Most High created by law. As much as they tell you they don't believe in him, they of course believe in him if they had to make a law to say that you must be subservient to his law. Come on, somebody, right? That's just plain, right? Let's stop making it mystical. Let's make it practical. I have to be subservient to his law in order to be able to be protected by the law. I have to stop thinking that I'm in control or that something or that there is or yeah, that I am in control, when the reality is everything I do is control. The man that tells you I can do whatever I want is the man that will not run the red light. Right? The woman that tells you I don't need a man is the woman that still has eggs that are designed to have a sperm. And even if you go to a sperm bank, guess where they had to get it from? The man that says that I don't need no woman, I'm gonna have multiple women, is the man that's ready for multiple headaches. Because as much as you believe you're in control, you are not in control. And once again, the world has got you to believe, to become double-minded, have cognitive dissonance, and continue to roll in it. You have this cognitive dissonance that says that I am going to be in control and somehow everything's going to be in control, right? You also have the cognitive dissonance that says I am controlled while you are clearly being controlled. If you are a Republican or a Democrat, you are clearly being controlled, because they got rid of all the other parties and said if any other party wants to be there, they have to be able to do something that's impossible, because you have two gangs that run the everything. And if the two gangs came together to agree on the law to make sure that nobody else can be involved, and when it's time for them to have these debates, guess what that means? That means that the two have to work together. If you are not a Republican Party member or Democratic Party member, and therefore because you can't get the numbers because of it, and you're not allowed to debate, then guess what that means? That means that because you're not allowed to debate, you're already frozen out. So there are a whole bunch of parties that exist that some of you don't even know the names of, don't care about, because you're only Republican or Democrat, you're red or blue, you're right or wrong, all this foolishness, right? And the reality is that you don't realize that you are under control. You are a puppet on a string. You are being told to go to the polls, and all they have to do is tell you, hey, white people don't want you to vote, and black people come marching out, right? Or, there's too many of those black people voting, that white people come marching out. They got you on a string. It's not even that hard, because you believe that you control your party, because your vote count. It's like, look, can I be honest with you? It's like anybody who's ever invested in the company and you got shares. Yes, it is 100% accurate that even if one person has one share, they should be allowed to speak at an event or a meeting or virtual meeting or whatever, right? It is 100% accurate that most companies will say if you got one share, you should be allowed to speak. But let's be honest, who represents the country more? I mean, the company more, the corporation more? Somebody with 5 million shares or somebody with one share? Let's stop this. Just because you got one share doesn't mean it's your corporation, right? If you get 100 shares and you make a lot of money off your shares, it doesn't mean it's your corporation. If somebody has 5 million and you got 100, you doing well. Let's say you got 5,000 shares, you doing really well, but that doesn't compare to 5 million. 5 million will always outnumber 5, right? At least unless it's with Yah, right? Then we know he can flip it around. But I'm just saying, in the world, they set this thing up to get you to believe that you have control. My child goes to the school, so I'm going to tell the school board what to do. The school board says you can kick rocks. We paid by other people. I get a salary from the government, which you already give me because you were willing to double dip, right? Or you wouldn't let me double dip because you send your child here. That's equity. You pay your taxes here. That's equity. You make sure that when it's PTA association stuff, you pay for that. That's equity, right? You make sure that you pay for all the supplies and stuff. That's equity. You pay extra and work yourself to the bone to make sure that the band and the football team and the basketball team and the field hockey and drama department and choir and all this stuff have all this extra money to do certain things or whatever. If you even still have the arts, for real, right? That's equity. Like, you giving so much money here, you don't recognize that I'm already rolling in this. Do you not realize that you're not in control? And I'm just the president. See, the president of a board is not the CEO. The president of the board is not the owner of the company. He's just the president of the board. He's the face of the company, but he's not the power behind the throne. Matter of fact, technically, he doesn't sit on the throne. He's supposed to protect it. So as George Carlin said, you are under an illusion. You are not in control. And the second that we realize that, and we start acting accordingly, and we start saying, well, who is in control? Is there a higher power? Is there a nation that can come together? Is there a diaspora that actually leads in everything anyways? We just don't reap the benefits. When we start thinking like that, and I'll leave it there for tonight, start thinking like that and start praying about that and start coming together with like-minded people about that, and watch your decision-making change, and watch now what you're making decisions and change. See, if you make certain decisions, it's because of your decision making. But your decision making is based upon what somebody's been teaching you, right? Which is not you, rather than making decisions that are based upon what is your culture. That being said, I got to make sure that I'm in position for those who are virtually joining us tonight for the Feast of Tabernacles. So I thank you all. I appreciate you. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Happy Feast of Tabernacles to everybody. We hope and pray that everybody who's flying out is making it home safely or has made it home by this point. Please let us know once you do. We hope and pray that those who are, getting ready to fly out, that they be safe. We thank you guys who are here physically. We thank you those who are here virtually. Thank you for those who have been here and all that stuff. We'll see you tomorrow, Kofi_43. So if you just joined us tonight, I'm Kofi_42 on TikTok. If you're on YouTube, same place, same time. But if you joined us on TikTok for the first time, we're going to be on The same thing here, Kofi underscore 42, except it's going to be just do the number 3. We're on every rising at 8 a.m. Eastern New York time. And I'll see you guys for tomorrow. So thank you. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon. If you join us virtually, we'll see you on Zoom in a few seconds. We give all honor and praise to the Most High. We once again give all honor and praise to him for my wife, the Honorable Maya, who lives a life that's able to be honored. Check her out as always on TikTok, YouTube, or website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish. Not A&D, the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. She is a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist by degree. We thank you all, and we'll talk to you soon. Shalom. Kindness, so the Shabbat Shalom too. But shalom. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.